Okay, Hare Krishna. I'll just Jai. So we are reading from Caitanya Charitamrita, and we're starting from the Adi-lila, chapter 5. We finished a long purport, which was chapter 41, and this was months ago. So we're picking up on text 42. So let's do the invocation. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya
Jaya.
Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashchade Shatarane Jai. I forgot how we did this. We would read the Bengali. Read here?
Yeah.
We'd read the Bengali and the English and everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do it. Adi-lila chapter 5, text 42. And so what we do is we'll just keep reading and reading until the hour is up. And if anyone has questions, please ask. Comments, please speak up or raise your hand. And I'll also say a few things now and then. Okay. Tanhayera mera rupa mahasankarshana chit shakti ashraya tinho karanera karana. 42. Chapter 5. There in the spiritual sky, the personal feature of Balaram, called Maha Sankarshan, is the shelter of the spiritual energy. He is the primary cause, the cause of all causes. Chit Shakti Vilasa Eka Shuddha Sattva Nama Shuddha Sattva Maya Yata Vaikuntanadi Dhamma. Gonna read Sneha?
One variety of the pastimes of the spiritual energy is described as pure goodness, Vishuddha Sattva. It comprises all the abodes of the Vaikuntha.
Okay, yeah. So what we're talking about here is the different energies of the Lord. This chapter is called The Glories of Lord Nityananda Balaram. So we're hearing about how basically Lord Balaram is the universe, is everything that exists in the universe. Okay, so one of the spiritual energies is Vishuddha Sattva, and all the Vaikuntha planets are made of Vishuddha Sattva. Shadvidaishvarya tanha sakala chinmaya sankarshanera vibhuti sabhajaniha nishchaya. Can you read, Hannah?
The six attributes are all spiritual. Know for certain that they are all manifestations of the opulence of Sankarshan.
The six attributes, the Shadvidaishvarya. I'm guessing those are, the six opulences: wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, renunciation. Text 45. Jivanama tatashtakya eka shaktihaya mahasankarshana sabhajivera ashraya. Divya?
Hare Krishna. There is one marginal potency known as the jiva. Mahasankarshan is the shelter of all jivas.
Okay. Yanhaite Vishvotpati Yanhate Pralaya Se Purushera Sankarshana Samashraya. Are you able to read, Aruna? Probably not. Okay.
Sorry, I
Sankarshan.
can't read like that.
Okay, fine. Sankarshan is the original shelter of the Purusha, from whom this world is created and in whom it is dissolved. Sarvashraya Sarvadbhuta Aishvarya Apara Ananta Kahite Nare Mahima Yanhara.
He Sankarshana is the shelter of everything. He is wonderful in every aspect, and his opulences are infinite. Even Ananta cannot describe his glory.
Mm. And here comes the conclusive verse of this section. Turiya Vishuddha Sattva Sankarshana Nama Tinha Yanra Hamsa Se Nityananda Rama. Hannah?
That Sankarshan, who is transcendental pure goodness, is a partial expansion of Nityananda Balaram.
Yeah, so he's talking about how this Sankarshan is the shelter of the Purusha, he's the shelter of all the jivas, he's the source of all the six opulences, his energy comprises all the Vaikuntha planets, and the universe and everything comes from him. And he's just a partial expansion of Lord Nityananda. So Lord Nityananda is a great personality. It's very important that we understand this because there's that pastime of Mini Caitanya Ram, his brother, Krishna's Kaviraj, his brother.
Okay.
Yeah, so Krishna's Kaviraj, I think I told this pastime the last time. Krishna's Kaviraj was staying at home with his family, and he invited a devotee of Lord Nityananda to his house. They used to have kirtans like often at their house. And so one day he invited Miniketana Ram Das Prabhu to his house. And he happened to be a devotee, a disciple of Lord Nityananda. So Krishna's Kaviraj loved Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. But they had a pujari in their house who respected Lord Chaitanya, but didn't was very dismissive towards Lord Nityananda. Like, who is this Nityananda? He's just eccentric and weird. He doesn't follow any rules and regulations, and he's just a little bit of a disturbance like that. He didn't like Lord Nityananda. So when Lord Nityananda's disciple came to the kirtan, then this pujari, he made some little, insensitive comment that was offensive to Lord Nityananda. And Mini Ram got upset, and he plays the flute. He took his flute, a bamboo flute, and he broke it over his knee, and he threw it on the floor, and he stormed out of the house. And Krishna's Kaviraj was trying to, you know, smooth out the wrinkles. But then Krishna's Kaviraj's brother came over and was taking the side of the pujari, and it ended up being this confrontation between the two brothers and the pujari, and other members of the family got involved, and it was a whole drama. Mindi Ram left. He's saying, "Look, you just offended a great Vaishnava. What's going to happen to you now?" And anyways, Krishna's Kaviraj just went to his room. He was like, "I'm done with this family." Anyway, so then that night he went to sleep and he had a dream in which Lord Nityananda appeared to him, and he said, "I'm very pleased that you stood up for me today and in the defense of my devotee, and I just want you to tell you that you should go to Vrindavan. You should leave this place. This place is not suitable for, yourself. This association is not good for you. You just leave and go to Vrindavan, for in Vrindavan you will obtain all things." That was his statement. And then Krishna's Kaviraj woke up and he was so enthusiastic. Had an instruction directly from the Lord, and he just packed his little bag and left. He left that morning before anybody woke up. He was just gone. And he went to Vrindavan and he met Raghunath Das Goswami, and he heard all about the later pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, and he ended up writing the Caitanya Charitamrita. So thanks to that incident that we have the Caitanya Charitamrita here. Thanks to Lord Nityananda's instruction. To Krishna's Kaviraj in the dream. So sometimes these things happen, sometimes there's some drama in the family that leads to some conflict and separation in members of the family. And sometimes it's just Maya and selfishness and, whatever. But sometimes it's the will of the Lord, the direct will of the Lord. Of course, everything is always sanctioned by the Lord. But in this case, what looked like a very problematic, disharmonious event turned out to be the greatest boon for humanity. So, yeah, sometimes these things happen like that. Text 49. Ashtama shlokera kaila sankshepe vivarana navama shlokera artha shunadiyamana. Divya? Divya's on holiday. I have briefly explained the 8th verse. Now please listen with attention as I explain the 9th verse. So the 9th verse, is it exactly what comes here? Let's just check. When he says the 9th verse, he means he means Adi-lila chapter 1, text 9. So I'm just going to flick back there and see what it says. See, in the beginning, he gives he gives a very concise bam, 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 these really powerful verses, and then he goes unpacking them throughout the Adi-lila. Yeah, it's the verse that starts Maya Bhartajanda. Okay, it's this one. Maya Bhartajanda Sangashrayanga Shete Sakshatkaranam Bodhi Madhye Yasyaikam Shashri Puman Adi Devas Tam Shri Nityananda Ramam Prapadye. Oh, it's there.
I offer my full obeisances unto the feet of Sri Nityananda, who partial representation called Karanodakshai Vishnu, lying on the Karana ocean, is the original Purusha, the master of all the illusory energy and the shelter of all the universe.
Okay, so now we're going to hear about the role of Lord Nityananda in the creation of the universes. Vaikunta Bahireye Jyotirmaye Dhamma Tahara Bahire Karanarnava Nama. Hannah, do you want to read that verse and purport?
Sure. Outside the Vaikunta planets is the impersonal Brahman effulgence, and beyond that effulgence is the Karana ocean or the causal ocean. Purport. The impersonal glowing effulgence known as impersonal Brahman is the outer space of the Vaikunta planets in the spiritual sky. Beyond that impersonal Brahman is the great causal ocean, which lies between the material and spiritual skies. The material nature is a byproduct of this causal ocean. Karanadakashai Vishnu, who lies on the causal ocean, creates the universes merely by glancing upon material nature. Therefore, Krishna personally has nothing to do with the material creation. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that the Lord glances over material nature and thus she produces the many material universes. Neither Krishna in Goloka nor Narayan in Vaikuntha comes directly in contact with the material creation. They are completely aloof from the material energy. It is the function of the Mahasankarshan in the form of Karanadakashai Vishnu to glance over the material creation, which is situated beyond the limits of the causal ocean. Material nature is connected with the personality of Godhead by his glance over her and nothing more. It is said that she is impregnated by the energy of his glance. The material energy, Maya, never even touches the causal ocean, for the Lord's glance focuses upon her from a great distance away. The glancing power of the Lord agitates the entire cosmic energy, and thus its actions begin at once. This indicates that matter, however powerful she may be, has no power by herself. Her activity begins by the grace of the Lord, and then the entire cosmic creation is manifested in a systematic way. The example of a woman's conception can help us understand this subject to a certain extent. The mother is passive, but the father puts his energy within the mother, and thus she conceives. She supplies the ingredients for the birth of the child in her womb. So similarly, the Lord activates material nature, which then supplies the ingredients for cosmic development. Material nature, should I keep going?
Yeah, go ahead.
Material nature has two different phases. The aspect called pradhana supplies the material ingredients for cosmic development, and the aspect called Maya causes the manifestation of her ingredients, which are temporary, like foam in the ocean. In reality, the temporary manifestations of material nature are originally caused by the spiritual glance of the Lord. The personality of Godhead is the direct or remote cause of creation, and material nature is the indirect or immediate cause. Materialistic scientists, puffed up by the magical changes their so-called inventions have brought about, cannot see the real potency of Godhead behind matter. Therefore, the jugglery of science is gradually leading people to a godless civilization at the cost of the goal of human life. Having missed the goal of life, materials run after self-sufficiency, not knowing that material nature is already self-sufficient by the grace of God. Thus, creating a colossal hoax in the name of civilization, they create an imbalance in the natural self-sufficiency of material nature. To think of material nature as all in all, not knowing the original cause, is ignorance. Lord Caitanya appeared in order to dissipate this darkness of ignorance by igniting the spark of spiritual life that can, by his causeless mercy, enlighten the entire world. To explain how Maya acts by Krishna's power, the author of Sri Caitanya Caritamrita gives the example of an iron rod in a fire. Although the rod is not fire, it becomes red hot and acts like fire itself. Similarly, all the actions and reactions of material nature are not actually the work of material nature, but are actions and reactions of the energy of the Supreme Lord manifested through matter. The power of electricity is transmitted through the medium of copper, but this does not mean that the copper is electricity. The power is generated at a powerhouse under the control of an expert living being. Similarly, behind all the jugglery of the natural laws is a great living being who is a person like the mechanical engineer in the powerhouse. It is by his intelligence that the entire cosmic creation moves in a systematic way. The modes of nature, which directly cause material actions, are also originally activated by Narayana. A simple example will explain how this is so. When a potter manufactures a pot from clay, the potter's wheel, his tools, and the clay are the immediate causes of the pot, but the potter is the chief cause. Similarly, Narayan is the chief cause of all material creations, and the material energy supplies the ingredients of matter. Therefore, without Narayana, all other causes are useless, just as the potter's wheel and tools are useless without the potter himself. Since materialistic scientists ignore the personality of Godhead, it is as if they were concerned with the potter's wheel and its rotation, the potter's tools, and the ingredients for the pots, but had no knowledge of the potter himself. Therefore, modern science has created an imperfect, godless civilization that is in gross ignorance of the ultimate cause. Scientific advancement should have a great goal to attain, and that great goal should be the personality of Godhead. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that after conducting research for many, many births, great men of knowledge who stress the importance of experimental thought can know the personality of Godhead, who is the cause of all causes. And when one knows him perfectly, one surrenders unto him and then becomes a Mahatma.
Jai, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Such a great soul is very rare, right? So, yeah, people, because they can't see Krishna's hand behind the creation, behind the activation or the everything, this material world, then they just assume that the things that they can see are what's making things happen. Just like somebody thinks that the copper wire is giving you a shock, that piece of copper is is the thing that's shocking you. No, it's the electricity that's running through the medium of the copper wire, right? Or that it's the clay and the wheel and the tools that are making the pot. No, those are just the instruments which the potter is using to make the pot. So yeah, it's just very sort of childish to see the superficial material things and think that that's what it is, that that's the only cause. There's nothing behind it. But for anybody who's like a little more intelligent, it's like, yeah, obviously there's a potter who made the pot. There's electricity in the wire. There are things that we don't see, but we can know. It's very obvious that there's some cause just beyond the ingredients. So, yeah. So the ultimate cause here, he's saying, is Nityananda. See, Lord Nityananda is Lord Balaram, and Balaram is the first expansion from Krishna, and all other incarnations expand from Lord Balaram. And the Purusha, so there's 6 different types of avatars. One type is called the Purusha avatars, and it's the Purusha avatars, 3 of them, that are responsible for the process of creation. So the first one is Karna Dakshaya Vishnu, who's also called Mahavishnu, and he lies down in the causal ocean. And then from him, all the universes expand from the pores of his body. And then Karna Dakshaya Vishnu expands into Kshira Dakshaya Vishnu. Maybe that's going to be explained in a sec. And then from him, I won't explain everything if it's already been explained coming up. You know, Kshira Dakshaya, what's his name? Garbha Dakshaya Vishnu comes from Karna Dakshaya Vishnu, and then he lies down in the Garbhodak ocean within the universe, and then Lord Brahma sprouts from his navel, like that. And then Lord Brahma becomes the secondary creator. But before this happens, Mahavishnu, this is what's being explained here, is that he glances on the pradhan. He glances on the unmanifested state of the three modes of material nature, the material elements in their subtle forms. It just says potential energy, and he activates them. So, yeah, neither Lord Vishnu nor Krishna are directly involved, but it's just glancing from a distance. And then that glance is like, psh, as soon as his glance touches the material energy, then it all just starts coming into being. And that's the big bang, basically. There was nothing, and then all of a sudden there was something. So scientists are always like, what happened? You know, what was the thing that caused nothing to be something? So we know that cause is the glance of the Lord. That apparently there was nothing, there was actually something. It's called pradhan. And when the Lord glances at pradhan, then that apparent nothing becomes something. It becomes the Mahatattva, and it starts differentiating into the three modes of material nature and false ego, which is influenced by those three modes and produces different things. Produces false ego influenced by goodness, produces intelligence, and goodness produces the mind, passion produces intelligence, ignorance produces all the material elements. So it's a whole process, and it all starts from Lord Nityananda. That's what he's saying here. Okay, any thoughts or questions about this purport? There's quite a lot here.
Yeah, it's like Krishna, Balram, Shankarshana, and all the other forms of Vishnu.
Yeah. It's like domino effect, right?
Yeah.
There's Krishna, and then Balaram, who's Nityananda. And then there's Karna Dakshaya Vishnu, Garbha Dakshaya Vishnu, Kshira Dakshaya Vishnu, and Lord Brahma comes into play, and then from him comes all the Manus, and then the progenitors, the sages, and Prajapatis, and us. Yeah. Anything else? Okay, let's go to text 52 then. Vaikuntha Vedya Eka Ache Jalanidha Ananta Aparatara Nahika Avadi. Surrounding Vaikuntha is a mass of water that is endless, unfathomed, and unlimited. So now we're back to Vaikuntha. So there's water all around Vaikuntha. He might be talking about the causal ocean, because he said that before, right? He said, the beginning of the purport, he said, the impersonal glowing effulgence known as impersonal Brahman is the outer space of the Vaikuntha planets. Beyond that is the great causal ocean, which lies between the material and spiritual skies.
I have a question.
Yes.
So it is a literal ocean?
Yeah, it seems to be water. There's water in it that's caused by actually, because Karna Dakshaya Vishnu lies down in that, and they say that it's the perspiration of Karna Dakshaya Vishnu. He lies down onto Shesh, and then his perspiration makes the ocean. Of course, his perspiration is not like our perspiration. It's not like stinky and moochy, like nectar.
Because I think I was once watching something and the person explaining the causal ocean was like, well, it's not a literal ocean. But I was like, then why is it called an ocean? I think I watched a video like that just a couple days ago. So it's interesting that you had further information that it's the perspiration of the Lord.
Yeah, and then the same thing happens when Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters the universe. Then he lies down on Anantashesh, and then his perspiration creates the Garbhodak ocean, which fills up half of the universe. So, like when Hiranyaksha is doing his things, and then the earth gets thrown out of orbit and ends up being submerged in the Garbhodak ocean. That's what it is. It's a body of water that the earth sinks into.
So the Garbhodak ocean is at the bottom of this universe, but surrounding material creation is the
Karana
Karna
ocean. Yeah. Karana means cause. So Prabhupada translates the Karana,
causal. Yeah,
the causal ocean. Yeah.
cool.
And it is indeed, it's the causal ocean because it's talking about how, Karna Dakshaya lies on the causal ocean. And yeah, so because Karna Dakshaya Vishnu is the cause, he's the causal Vishnu. And the ocean that he lies on is the causal ocean because he is the cause of the universe, basically. Okay. Sarva Karana Karanam, the cause of all causes. It's Krishna. Vaikuntha, we read that. Didn't we?
No.
We didn't read text 52? Vaikuntha, we did.
We did. Mhm.
Okay, text 53. Vaikuntera Pritivyadi Sakala Chinmaya Maika Bhutera Tati Janmana Hihaya. Natbar, would you like to read?
The earth, water, fire, air, and ether of Vaikuntha are all spiritual. Material elements are not found there.
Yeah, so here we have material earth, and there they have spiritual earth. Here we have material water, there they have spiritual water. So, what's the difference? How does spiritual water feel? How does spiritual fire work? We have to find out when we get there. How the qualities of these things are different.
There's not
It's like
descriptions.
spiritual water and spiritual ether and air. Well, we know that everything that's spiritual is eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. And that in the spiritual world, everything is also like Chintamani, Prakarasan, Mashakalpa Riksha, right? Everything is Chintamani. It's desire fulfilling. It's causes of happiness. And whereas
I've
here in the
heard.
material world, everything is temporary and miserable.
Yeah.
What'd you hear?
I've heard that like water has like a personality, like well, at least in some of Krishna's pastimes, like that the water will like reach up to try to touch his feet. Is that just for water bodies like the Yamuna, or is like all water kind of personal and fire personal, or is it not like that?
I think everything in the spiritual world is personal, in a sense of being sentient, you know? Absolute is sentient. Thou hast proved. Impersonal calamity, thou hast moved. So absolute is sentient means that Krishna, who is the absolute truth, is a person with feelings. He's a sentient person. Sentient means has feelings, has sentiments. But then, the spiritual world is Krishna's internal energy, so it also is the same, qualitatively the same as Krishna. So then it must also be sentient. And we hear how in the spiritual world, even stones are sentient beings, right? They're non-moving, but they're not non-feeling. And so when Krishna plays his flute, then the stones melt, just like our stone-like hearts melt when we hear kirtan being sung by a pure devotee. Okay, text 54. Chinmaya jala se parama karana yara eka kana ganga patita pavana. Go ahead, Sneha.
The water of the Karna ocean, which is the original cause, is therefore spiritual. The sacred Ganges, which is but a drop of it, purifies the fallen souls.
So there's another characteristic of spiritual water, Hannah, is that it purifies. It purifies everything that it touches because spiritual things are pure and purifying. So just by touching that spiritual water, you become purified. I mean, even material water, if it's like, clean water, it purifies in the sense, at least materially, it cleans, right? It's clean, cleansing and antiseptic. But this purifies not just dirt, but it purifies anarthas and conditioning and so forth, sins from the heart. Seta karanarnave se sankarshana apanara eka amshe karena shayana. In that ocean lies a plenary portion of Lord Sankarshan. So this is the Karna ocean.
I just had a thought about the verse we read previously,
Yeah,
and the thought was, it said that the Ganges River is just a drop of water from that ocean.
yeah.
Sometimes we have that vision, like, oh, this is like a big world. But that verse just like blew my mind, because what do you mean that whole Ganges River is a drop of water, you know?
Yeah. And that also proves what you were asking, what you were kind of like thinking, is that the causal ocean is actually an ocean. Because what happens is Lord Vamanadev, he takes his 3 steps of land. So first, with the first step, he covers the whole earth. And the second step, he covers the whole universe. And his toe extends to the universal shell. He goes through it and pierces a hole. And then what happens is that Karana ocean, which we just saw, that is between the spiritual and material worlds, um, leaks through. And as it's leaking through, because the hole was poked by Vamanadev's foot, and it's the spiritual water of the Ganga. It's the causal ocean, which is already pure because it's from the spiritual world. And it's coming over bathing the foot of Lord Vamadev and then falling down to the earth through the heavenly planets. And first it goes to the pole star, and then it has a whole journey. It's quite a dramatic journey, actually, before it gets to the earth. And then it lands on Lord Shiva's head. It passes through so many amazing, great personalities before it even gets to us. So at each step, it gets more and more purified. Yeah. So the causal ocean is definitely water. It's definitely an ocean made of water.
And what you just
And
said about that toe poking through, it made it full circle, because the analogy was used that material creation can be compared to a mother's womb. And you described it as almost like a shell. And it made me think of like when a woman is pregnant, her water breaks because the baby breaks the shell. So it's really like pregnant, material energy is pregnant by the glance of the Lord. It's kind of crazy. But
right.
it makes sense on that small scale that we can understand, and on that big scale.
Yeah. So what happens is when the Lord glances upon the Pradhan, then his glance, actually all of us fallen souls, when we're on our way down from the spiritual world, we are carried by the glance
Whoa.
mystically. The souls are contained within the glance of the Lord. It's one of the things that all the Jiva Shakti is in the glance of the Lord. And so then the souls get pregnated into matter, into the womb of material nature, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, text 56. Oh, Pragati?
So
Pragati's confused.
is this the glancing happen Krishna? Because we have heard that when he breathes all the cause, like all the universes, uh, universal incarnated, and then so we also go within him in a dormant state when
Yeah,
he,
during the annihilation.
yeah. When is the glancing happening and when is the breathing?
Yeah, the glancing happens in the beginning of before the universe. Let's see, Mahavishnu glances. Yeah, before the universes are there.
even before Mahavishnu, like any expansion.
Yeah, just Mahavishnu is there. Mahavishnu is lying on the causal ocean, and then he glances onto the Pradhan. And that glance injects the living entities and the time factor and the Icha Shakti, the desire of the Lord. Three things. Kala Shakti, Jiva Shakti, Icha Shakti. Kala means time, because time makes things move, right? And then Icha Shakti means the will of the Lord, that the Lord is desiring that this creation happen. And then Jiva Shakti, that's the souls that are being injected in there. And then everything starts differentiating and all the things start coming out. Okay, text 56. Mahatshashta Purusha Tingho Jagat Karana Adya Avatara Kare Maya Ikshana. Pragati.
He is known as the first Purusha, the creator of the total material energy. He, the cause of the universes, the first incarnation, cast his glance over Maya.
Maya Shakti Rahe Karanabdira Bahire Karana Samudra Maya Parashite Nare. Hannah?
Maya Shakti resides outside the Karana ocean. Maya cannot touch its waters.
Is anybody out there on Zoom apart from Hannah and Vrindavan Natabar wanting to read? Or are you all just listening?
I can read. We're honoring Prasad, but I can read. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Jai, welcome Ajit and Adanga Manjari.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Which verse are we on?
We are on 50, 58. 58 has a longish purport. Seta Mayara Dui Vidha Avastiti Jagatera Upadana Pradana Prakriti.
Maya has
Okay.
Maya has two varieties of existence. One is called Pradhan or Prakriti. It supplies the ingredients of the material world. Purport. Maya, the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is divided into two parts. Maya is both the cause of the cosmic manifestation and the agent who supplies its ingredients. As the cause of the cosmic manifestation, she is known as Maya, and as the agent supplying the ingredients of the cosmic manifestation, she is known as Pradhan. An explicit description of these divisions of the external energy is given in Srimad Bhagavatam 11:24, 1-4. Elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:63-26, the ingredients and cause of the material cosmic manifestation are described as follows. Kalo dvaivam kama jiva svabhavo dvaicham kshetram pana atma vikara tatsangato bijaro Pravahas tvanmaya shatan nishedam papadye. O my Lord, time, activity, providence, and nature are four parts of the causal aspect maya of the external energy. The conditioned vital force, the subtle material ingredients called the dravya, and material nature, which is the field of activity where the false ego acts as the soul, as well as the 11 senses and 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, which are the 16 ingredients of the body. These are the ingredient aspect of Maya. The body is generated from activity, and activity is generated from the body, just as a tree is generated from a seed that is generated from a tree. This reciprocal cause and effect is called Maya. My dear Lord, you can save me from this cycle of cause and effect. I worship your lotus feet. Although the living entity is primarily related to the causal portion of Maya, he is nevertheless conducted by the ingredients of Maya. Three forces work in the causal portion of Maya: knowledge, desire, and activity. The material ingredients are a manifestation of Maya as Pradhan. In other words, when the three qualities of Maya are in a dormant stage, they exist as Prakriti, Avyakta, and Pradhan. The word Avyakta, referring to the non-manifested, is another name of Pradhan. In the Avyakta stage, material nature is without varieties. Varieties are manifested by the Pradhan portion of Maya. The word Pradhan is therefore more important than Avyakta or Prakriti.
Wowzers. That's a lot. So, yeah, Krishna's Kaviraj is going into he's unpacking the intricacies of Maya, that Maya has these different varieties of manifestations that basically constitutes practically everything here in this material universe, right? Time, activity, providence, and nature are 4 parts of Maya. And yeah, all the material ingredients, the material energy, the elements, the senses, and the conditioned vital force. So I'm assuming that's like the conditioning over the soul. Those things are all Maya. It's a whole lot of Maya going on. Text 59. Jagat karana nahe prakriti jadarupa shakti sanchariya tare Krishna kare kripa. Vrindavan Natvar.
Because Prakriti is dull and inert, it cannot actually be the cause of the material world. But Lord Krishna shows his mercy by infusing his energy into the dull, inert material nature.
I'm just thinking, how is that his mercy? Is it mercy? Is it mercy on Prakriti? That Prakriti is sitting there just dull and inert, and then Krishna comes along and enlivens her.
So
And the result is our suffering. Or is it Krishna's mercy that he gives us a chance to fulfill our material desires, our desire to be independent enjoyers in the material world, and learn our lesson? Or what?
or maybe being our das, fulfilling our wishes to
That's what I'm saying, yeah, by his mercy.
It's also
Yeah.
so amazing. You said that so fast. You said it so fast. Like, is it his mercy that we want to enjoy separately from Krishna? So he gives us the opportunity to by entering into material creation. Because also we hear like the soul is only, I mean, the body is only alive because the presence of the soul and the super soul. And actually, I was listening to a lecture the other day, and it said that sometimes the soul within the heart, the soul and the super soul within the heart are shown side by side, but actually, the super soul, the soul is an expansion of the super soul. So actually, it's the super soul. You know, like what I'm trying to say is the super soul, and the soul is within the super soul when it's actually drawn. Anyways, it's just so interesting how you said it so fast because, like, I don't know, it's just amazing to me that, um, like, knowledge is like innate, and and anyone from anywhere can like be on the same wavelength just because it's like natural to understand and know.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes knowledge comes in mysterious ways, right? But I was remembering something just now that I learned in my Bhakti Vaibhava class in Mayapur. We were studying about the creation of the material universe and this whole process, the Lord's glancing and all the things activating, and the Pradhan and the Prakriti and the Mahatattva and all these things. And then, so he came into the classroom and he had like a flip chart there, and he had written on the big piece of paper there that the creation is an expression of the Lord's unconditional love for us. And then he said, he asked us how. So now I'm going to ask you the same question. How is the creation of the material universe, the universes, cosmic manifestation, how is it an expression of the Lord's unconditional love for us?
do you know that?
So we are all lost in this Maya. So we do a lot of wrong things. Still, he doesn't judge and he always gives us more chances to improve and purify ourselves.
Okay, so did you hear that? Sneh is saying that Krishna always gives us a chance to improve ourselves, even though we're
Like,
Very ignorant.
yeah, we are, even though we have like misguided at many points, we are completely lost in the Maya. I think that is an unconditional love where uh,
He doesn't give up on us.
he doesn't give up on us. There's always a way to go back to him. So he waits until we are ready for it.
So he designs this whole material world in such a way that we're just giving chance after chance after chance, right? To make the right choice and elevate
Yeah.
ourselves. Okay, good. Yeah, I like that. You had something else, Pragati?
As if we were in like as they say, we were in spiritual world and we got envious of Krishna. So Krishna, instead of just
Throwing us away.
he gave us and we wanted to enjoy. So he is giving us the free will, like he is admiring our free will, respecting our free will, and giving us the chance to enjoy as well as the chance to go back to him.
Mm.
And this material world is, I feel like it's a lot of suffering that we remember.
Mm. Mm.
That's why it is a suffering which we think, but according to Krishna, it's just one more chance to go and turn towards him.
Mm. Yeah.
I
So he
think
gave us,
I wanted to add a few things here, Mataji. I think
who's that?
Hare Krishna, my name is Nitya.
Where are you from?
I'm from Seattle, Mataji.
The donor.
She who sends the flower and fruit.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You're the mystery, the mystery person.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the fruits and everything and the flowers.
Thank you for
Okay,
accepting.
go ahead. Tell us.
Yeah, Mataji, I was feeling like the way Prakriti is designed, the resources which Prakriti has, I think that is also a way of Krishna showering his love on us. And we never pay like anything in return to the Prakriti as well. Although there is always a chance to enjoy as well as to find ways back to him through the Prakriti. So I think that is also a form of love. We pay attention to that.
Yeah, so Krishna actually gave us an amazing world. Like he gave us actually a beautiful world that has all kinds of, I mean, it's beautiful, the natural world, the parts of it that we didn't mess up, So the parts that are still the way God made them are beautiful, right? You go to some pristine forest or, rivers and the ocean and the sunsets and the rainbows and all the nice natural things. He actually gave us a beautiful world that's full of all the things that we need to exist. There's fresh water and it's just the right temperature, and there's all kinds of fruit that just grows wildly, and there's land that we can plant seeds and it grows so many grains and vegetables and things, and there are all kinds of animals and birds and things, bees that make honey. It's actually the world. And at the same time, there's just enough suffering for us to be like, well, it's not exactly what it's supposed to be. Like I can kind of like live here, but there's something missing. There's just enough suffering to make us feel like I can't stay comfortably here. There's a pinprick. So, and then that makes us wonder, why am I suffering? Why is it never right? Why do I have to die? Why do I have to get sick? And then we start wondering, like, who designed this thing anyway? And yeah. And Krishna gives us the scriptures and the sadhus and gurus and things. So, yeah. Vrindavan Natbar?
It's a little bit mundane, but I was just relating this to like a common phrase that I remember hearing in my childhood related to relationships, which is probably everyone's heard this before. If you really love someone, set them free.
Mm.
And, if the love is true, they will come back to you, right? So
Mhm.
that phrase is used to teach people that there is no true love in controlling others.
Yeah.
And so obviously like Krishna wants to have like genuine relationships with the jivas. It's not like he's interested in just kind of keeping us confined in one place where we're, resentful. So for that reason, it is his love to offer us an alternative, even though it's to our own detriment.
Hmm. Yeah. See, if Krishna's love was conditional, then it would be it would be on the condition, like, I love you on the condition that you stay with me and do what I want you to do. But, and so if it was conditional, then when we decide, actually, Krishna, I don't want to like serve you and worship you. Why is it all got to be about you? Why do you have to be in the center? I'm going to do my own thing. Then Krishna be like, all right, then no more love. I'm not doing anything. I'm done with you. You can just, bye, kind of thing. But Krishna doesn't. He's like, okay, you want to enjoy yourself separate from me? Here's a world. Here's a place full of all kinds of resources, all kinds of playthings for you to go and have fun with. And I'm going to come with you. Like, I'm going to come with you in such a way that you don't know that I'm with you. I'm going to let you forget about me because you want to forget about me, but I'm not going to forget about you. I'm going to be right there in your heart of hearts, and I'm going to be guiding you and protecting you and reminding you of what you need to do, and waiting for you to turn back to me. And then when you do, I'm going to help you in every way possible. So, yeah, Krishna is very kind. His love for us is something that we can't even imagine, Yeah. Okay. What do we got? Oh, we have a few more minutes. Let's read some more. 59. We read 59, yeah. That Lord Krishna shows his mercy by infusing his energy into dull, inert material nature. Krishna Shakti Prakriti-haya Gona Karana Agni Shakti Loha Yaiche Karaye Jarana. Who's reading? Sneha?
Thus, Prakriti, by the energy of Lord Krishna, becomes a secondary cause, just as iron becomes red hot by the energy of fire.
Mm. Yeah, so it looks like Prakriti is doing all these things, Prakriti, the material energy, but only because the Lord has glanced. He's glanced upon Prakriti, and he's infused Prakriti with all of the potencies. Just like the copper wire is just a piece of metal until the electricity flows through it, and then it can do all kinds of things. So the same way Prakriti is dull and inert, but when the Lord glances on it, then it becomes like a red hot iron rod that can ignite other things. Okay, maybe we'll do one more verse here in the purport. Ataiva Krishna Mula Jagat Karana Prakriti Karana Yaiche Aja Galastana. Prakriti, why don't you sit here, Prakriti?
Therefore, Lord Krishna is the original cause of the cosmic manifestation. Prakriti is like the nipples on the neck of a goat, for they cannot give any milk. Purport. The external energy composed of Pradhan or Prakriti as the ingredient supplying portion and Maya as the causal portion is known as Maya Shakti. Inert material nature is not the actual cause of the material manifestation. For Karanavashai Mahavishnu, the plenary expansion of Krishna activates all the ingredients. It is in this way that material nature has the power to supply the ingredients. The example given is that iron has no power to heat or burn, but after coming in contact with fire, the iron becomes red hot and can then diffuse heat and burn other things. Material nature is like iron, for it has no independence to act without the touch of Vishnu, who is compared to fire. Lord Vishnu activates material nature by the power of his glance, and then the iron like material nature becomes a material supplying agent, just as iron made red hot becomes a burning agent. Material nature cannot independently become an agent for supplying the material ingredients. This is more clearly explained by Sri Kapil Dev, an incarnation of Godhead in Srimad Bhagavatam 3:28-40. Yathomukad Vishpulingad Dumad Vapi Swas Sambhavat Api Atmavenabhi Matad Yathagni Pratag Ulmukad. Although smoke, flaming wood, and sparks are all considered together as ingredients of a fire, the flaming wood is nevertheless different from the fire, and the smoke is different from the flaming wood. The material elements, earth, water, fire, etc., are like smoke. The living entities are like sparks, And material nature as Pradhan is like the flaming wood. But all of them together are recipients of power from the Supreme Personality of and are thus able to manifest their individual capacities. In other words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the origin of all manifestations. Material nature can supply only when it is activated by the glands of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just as a woman can deliver a child after being impregnated by the semen of a man, so material nature can supply the material elements after being glanced upon by Mahavishnu. Therefore, Pradhan cannot be independent of this superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9:10. Maya dakshena prakriti shuyate sa charanacharam. Prakriti. The total material energy works under the superintendence of the Lord. The original source of the material elements is Krishna. Therefore, the attempt of the atheistic Sankhya philosophers to consider material nature the source of these elements, forgetting Krishna, is useless, like trying to get milk from the nipple like bumps of skin hanging on the neck of a goat.
Yeah. If you go to India, you see the goats running around the streets there near Jagannath Mandir, and they'll have these little things hanging down from their necks that look like nipples. But of course, you're not going to get any milk from those. So in the same way, Prakriti is not the cause. You're not going to get anything out of Prakriti. Prakriti doesn't produce anything. It's actually Krishna who is producing everything through Prakriti. Okay. So, yeah, whenever we're seeing anything happening in the world, the sun rising, the wind blowing, the rain falling, cars going down the road, people walking, insects buzzing around, dogs barking, anything that's happening, anything that is energy, energy is somehow flowing or moving something, causing something to move or be moved. That's all coming from Krishna. There's no other source of energy. Everything is Krishna's energy. So, yeah, there's one verse in the Bhagavatam that talks about how, like, just like a bowman pulls back the string and releases it, but it looks like the arrow is going by itself, right? Because he doesn't throw it, he just lets go. It looks like the arrow is going by itself, but if he didn't pull the string first, then nothing's going to happen. So the same way, when we look at things moving in this world, like a car or a dog running or a person walking or whatever, anything that's moving, an airplane flying in the sky, it looks like it's going on its own. But actually Krishna he had pulled the string back already. Right? We're just seeing the release. But actually Krishna, everything is working by Krishna's energy. And it all started from Krishna's glance. And from that point on, everything continues, just working by his direction, by his empowerment, by his energies, his potencies. Maya Dyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharachara. So this material nature is one of my energies, and it's working under my direction, producing all moving and non-moving beings. So something to remember, that not a blade of grass moves except not just by the will of Krishna or the sanction of Krishna, but by the energy of Krishna. There's no other energy that's making things happen. It's all Krishna's. And it's coming through Lord Nityananda Balaram, through these different agents. Okay, so we are at time here. We'll wrap it up for today, and tomorrow we will pick up on text 62.
I have a basic question, like very.
Oh, you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the
It's
question?
not related to today's class, but the previous class, and I was reading that.
What, you mean like 2 months ago?
I read the book yesterday, and we also read this in the chapters of Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Okay.
So when we were reading Radha Krishna, and then it says that because Krishna wanted to get the feeling what Radharani was feeling, and that's why he incarnated as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So
Yeah.
then I was thinking that Radharani is also like the potency of Krishna, and Krishna is in everyone. So he must have enjoyed or experienced this thing while in the position of Radharani. Like they're not different. So why he is taking like why we are saying that he cannot experience that, but Krishna is the supreme, he's in everyone's heart, so he must be experiencing all those things while being Radharani.
But there's a difference. So, yeah, okay, so the Paramatma is in my heart, and he knows what I'm thinking, feeling. But he's not feeling it the way I'm feeling it. Right? Like I'm suffering. I'm lamenting my position in this material world. Paramatma's not lamenting. Right? He's observing my lamentation. So he knows what I'm feeling, but he's not feeling what I'm feeling. So in the same way, Radharani is Krishna's energy. So you could say, oh, well, she's in one sense not different from Krishna. So Krishna knows what she's feeling. But not exactly. It's kind of like achintya bheda abheda tattva. Right?
Yeah, so he knows what are the feelings, but he's not experiencing right now what Radharani was experiencing.
Yeah, like he knows that she's feeling what she's feeling, but he doesn't know what it feels like to feel what she's feeling.
Okay.
That's why he desires to feel what she's feeling, because he knows she's feeling something
Yeah.
amazing, right?
Yeah.
But he wants to feel it the way she feels it.
Yeah.
But you can't feel it like I can know that you're like, let's say, something, I don't know, let's say you got like a promotion, or your family member that you haven't seen in a long time came to visit, or I know that you're happy, and I know the situation is going to make you really happy. I can see on your face that you're happy through your body language. I can see that you're happy, and I'm with you, so I can almost like I can get a little charged off your happiness, but I can't feel what you're feeling.
Yeah.
But I might think I would like to feel the happiness that she's feeling right now. But I can only feel that if I'm you.
And Krishna wanted to be in that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the sense in which we are inconceivably simultaneously one with Krishna and different from him. Otherwise, there would be no meaning to individuality. Right.
I have one question.
Yes.
So actually, it's interesting that we were reading about expansions today, because this morning I was thinking, for me, it's easier for me. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's easier for me to wrap my mind around Krishna expanding himself and expansions from expansions, but it's very hard for me to wrap my head around Radha and Krishna in one body. My question is that something that we will get to read about? And how did you wrap your head around it, if you have?
Radha and Krishna in one form as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess I just never tried to intellectualize it. I was always just like, all right. Like in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, you see that a lot of the personalities are like multiple personalities in one personality, like uh, different people from Krishna Leela, or different parts of Krishna, one from Vrindavan Leela, one from whatever, and they come together, in one person. Like Haridas Thakur. He's
Brahma
Brahma, and who else? I don't know. Maybe
Brahma only.
only Brahma. There's some of them that are like multiple. There's like two or three.
Advaita Acharya.
Okay, Advaitacharya. He's Mahavishnu, and he's also Lord Shiva.
Yeah.
So then how is it that they are both two souls in one body, and that person has one personality that's different from either of the two? It's like, what? So these things are all inconceivable. Yeah, I didn't try to understand it. I was just like, that's wild.
Because when you were explaining that the super soul seated within the heart can see, oh, Prabhupada Priya is experiencing lamentation, but he is not experiencing lamentation. We can, that's like something you can wrap your head around, but I guess there's no like this explanation like that for two souls in one body.
Yeah, because it's different because it's described that the soul and the super soul are like two birds in one tree, right? And one is eating the fruits of the tree, and one is observing. One is like the knowing observer, who's detached and aloof and neutral, and the other one is the kind of bewildered enjoyer, who's trying to enjoy and getting frustrated, and like that. So, but if you think about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being Radha and Krishna, um, Chaitanya Charitamrita starts off talking about how, yeah, we read that, I think it was in chapter 4, 3 or 4, talking about how they're actually one soul, but they separated themselves eternally. And now they've come back together in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But it's not that there's two different souls inside the body of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because they are one soul, right? The word ekatma is there, eka atma. So what happens is that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna. He's actually Krishna, but he has the mood and the complexion of Srimati Radharani. So some aspects of Radharani's personality become prominent in the personality of Krishna when he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that you end up with a person who has all the potency of Krishna, but all the compassion and grace of Srimati Radharani. So you see, when Krishna comes, he actually wants everyone to be delivered, but he makes a lot of demands, right? You have to surrender, and he killed demons, and he told Arjuna, don't tell this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to people who are not devotees and not austere and not or anyone who's envious. And so he could have given knowledge freely to everyone. He could have given, love for him freely to everyone, but he didn't, because Krishna's personality is not like that. But Srimati Radharani, her personality is different. So Srimati Radharani, she wants to give love of Krishna to everyone, but then she doesn't have the authority to do so because she's not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then they both have their, I guess you could say, not really, but kind of apparent limitations. But when they come together and you get the Supreme Personality of Godhead who has all the power and all the authority to do anything, and then but he had, and he, kind of like, now he's softened up. He's got this compassion and mercy and love and, Hladini energy. Then that's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So then he can give pure love of everyone without any restriction.
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
Ajit,
Can we then say that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like supreme somehow?
he's the best.
He's the best. I don't know. It reminds me
I
of
mean, I
like
always think like that Lord Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya is more than Krishna. He's Krishna plus.
Krishna
yeah.
2.0.
Krishna 2.0.
Yeah, if anyone ever watched Dragon Ball Z, they do like fusion. Two super powerful fighters, they fusion into one, and then it becomes like the best. It's kind of like this, you know.
Yes, something like that. The thing is like Radha and Krishna are always together. Krishna's never without Radharani in some way, shape, or form. So that energy is there. So it's not, we don't want to, make Krishna feel bad. But he himself says, that when I came as Krishna, I had an objective which I could not fulfill.
Mm. Mm.
And therefore I'm coming again. And I'm going to come in a form, in a way that I will fulfill all my purposes,
Jack.
internal and external. So from that, we can see that Lord Chaitanya is superior. Gauranga.
Gauranga.
Okay, it's late. Let's wrap it up. We'll see you all tomorrow, hopefully. And you can tell anybody that they want to join, that we started up again.
Thank you, Prabhupada Priya.
Thank
Shri
you.
Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Shri Krishna's Kaviraj ki jai, Shri Gaunitai ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanandi.
Hari Hari Bol.